So for my TB1 project for VFX modeling I went with this robot as there were many more, but I wanted to go with something difficult, as I have some experience with 3D before. So first I took the reference in Maya and start putting basic models on the reference just to see where everything goes. And after putting everything together I started working on the details like the wires and chains, which I made it with CV curve tool, and then convert them to polygons like in the picture. And after completing my robot I wanted to do something for the scene, like to make him look like he's in the water and also put some fish and plants in there to make him look like he's in the ocean. But because I got sick and haven't had enough time to complete things I had to just go with the things as it is, and also I unwrapped the model to make some details in ZBrush. But I did not had enough time, so I had to go with the way it was looking and also had to use Arnold presets, which I did not wanted to do. But had to because of the deadline, and also make the model from T-pose to the way it was looking in the reference by parenting it, and after doing all that, I faced the biggest problem ever, which to light it and then render it, because rendering took so much time in Arnold, so I went with batch rendering, which again took a lot of time to complete. And while rendering I faced problems like the output which was rendering was not same as the rendering it was showing me in Maya. So I have to change some things like the format int8 to int16 to make it look the same. For my second project, which was a still life, I went with this because it looks very cartoony and wanted to do something different, and for this I did the same thing as before. I imported the reference in Maya and then start putting basic shapes onto the image, and with some tweaking I made it look like what it looks like in the reference. And this still life have many different assets in the scene. I had to make everything differently, and then put them all together. So I was making the cloth and realized that I made it very high poly with N cloth, so I went with a plane and put some segments in, and made it look like a stylized cloth which also low poly. And then I made the feet, which was at first very difficult to make cause it was not looking like as it should be, and then I went with quad draw tool with which I made it look like a foot. And then I struggled with leaves and feathers and the drippy thing, but with same tool quad draw I made it look like what it should look like. And after putting everything together I faced an issue, which was making the small details, which I did made in ZBrush, but could not bake it properly and having some issues which I could not fix, so took everything in Substance Painter, and then made all the details in with the height map, and exported everything back to Maya and then rendered it all.